Hi, welcome to Social Abandoned Strategies. So in this channel, I always talk about INTJs, but today I'm gonna talk about another personality which is also one of the rarest personalities. I'm gonna talk about INTPs. So they are only 3 to 5% of the US population. They are also one of the rarest. There are lots of similarities between INTJs and INTPs. In this video, I'm going to give you some signs that you can look for to know whether you are an INTP or not. So now, let's get right into it. So the main question is this. How are introverts like us, who didn't use any special tricks to talk to others, can still be seen as confident? How do we manage to just stay in our room for most of the time and yet still make friends without being needy? And that is the big question that this channel will answer for you. Welcome to Social Abandoned Strategies. Welcome back. INTPs are also one of the rarest personalities in the world. They are only about 3 to 5% of the US population. Now INTJs and INTPs are pretty similar. The only difference is that the P in INTP stands for perceiving and J in INTJ stands for judging. So that's the only difference. So we have lots of similarities. For example, both personalities are introverts and also we are good observers. We observe all the time. INTPs observe all the time. And I think they even analyze and think more than us. They are pretty intellectual people. Some of the most famous INTPs are Albert Einstein and Isaac Newton. The geniuses. So anyways, if you want to know whether you are an INTP or not, let's get right into the first point, which is they do ruthless analysis. This is quite similar to the INTJs, but I think there are some differences within that. A few differences, just a little bit different. So INTJs also do a great deal of analysis, and INTPs also do a great deal of analysis. But for INTPs, they mainly focus on concepts and beliefs and theories and ideas. They really focus on that, and they analyze those in details. They go really deep down. And then they try to think about it again and again and again. Then they reflect on their ideas and analyze again. So that's what they often do. And the problem is, so when they see some mistakes in concepts or ideas from others, then they just tell them. And those guys don't usually accept those. INTPs don't usually understand why those guys have to be so illogical, right? Sometimes they can't see the mistakes. So INTPs try to point out those mistakes, but they don't accept even when given the logical explanation. I think this is one of the similarities between INTJs and INTPs. And INTPs usually just tell people whatever they think. As that is the case, whenever they say it, they just say it, right? They don't really think about how he might feel, or what if I say this, what might he feel? They don't usually think about that. They just say it, and it usually hurts people. And people don't usually understand it, except the INTJs especially, right? INTJs can totally understand that. I think INTJs and INTPs can be best friends because they don't really care about, they don't show much emotions. They don't really care much about emotions. All they care about is logical reasoning and really the reasons behind every single thing. So as INTPs are so honest and they just tell people, then people get so offended easily. And after a long time, they just choose not to tell people the truth anymore. They just choose not to tell people that they are wrong anymore. Well, people don't value your opinion, so why will you tell them, right? That's a pretty logical move, not saying anything anymore. And the second point is, they open up to very few people. This is also one of the similarities with INTJs. Now, there are too many similarities. So INTJs and INTPs both open up to only a few people, and it is too hard for them to open up. And even when they open up, they don't open up like 100%. There are still something that they are keeping secret. They don't want everybody to know about them, right? They want themselves to be private. And when you see when strangers approach INTPs, then they don't usually feel comfortable. They are also introverts. They don't usually feel comfortable and they also feel awkward in those situations. But then when INTPs are with their best friends, really close circle of friends, they are also very talkative, right? So when INTJs and INTPs meet, and let's supposedly say that they have the same interest, then both of them don't even seem to be introverts anymore. They are just too talkative because they have the same interest. And as they have thought lots about those interests and analyzed lots of them, They know a great deal about that topic, so they can talk a lot and share ideas and share opinions about that same topic and experiences. So it's one of the fun things that INTJs and INTPs do. They don't go dance and they don't go for drinks and such. They share ideas, and that's what makes them really happy and fun, because they are improving. And so let's go on to the third point, which is connection makers. I'm not even sure whether that's the word, but let me explain what I'm trying to say. So in this world, for INTPs, the world is full of patterns and connections, right? So they are very good at spotting those connections and patterns in this world. So for INTJs, what I think is there are too many illogical people and it's too emotional. But for INTPs, they can notice connections. Whenever they see two different things, they can still make some connections, some similarities between them. They're very good at making connections. So they're also good at science and maths and such, making connections. And as they are good at making connections, once something is out of pattern or once something is out of the ordinary, they can notice it very quickly. Just like INTJs, they are very observant, so they can notice very quickly when something is changing. And the fourth thing is they value the truth a lot. They value the truth too much that they are too blunt about it. So whenever they talk to people, they are too blunt about the truth and they are just too honest. So people don't usually like that. The people don't usually appreciate that, except the INTJs. INTJs don't think about emotions, right? We don't usually care about them. But for most people, they are emotional. So when you tell them the truth, and even if it hurts them, then they're not gonna like you. But for INTJs, if you tell us the truth, even if it hurts us, we appreciate you guys. We understand you because we are pretty much the same thing. But whenever INTPs tell the truth, they don't usually, they are not saying it from the place where they want to hurt them. They don't mean to hurt people with the truth. They just want everyone to know the facts. They don't want to hurt them. Most people can handle it, so they just hurt them. And the next point is sometimes they get lost in their thoughts. INTPs are always thinking and they are always analyzing. So when they are analyzing and when they are imagining about things, even when you talk to them, they're not really listening to you anymore because they have those different ideas and different stories in their head. They have their own world in their own minds. So when you are talking to them, and sometimes they might not be listening, and sometimes they might even forget things because they are too much in their head. And you know what's worse? They can skip meals and they just ignore health totally sometimes just to be in their head. That's how much they think and analyze. Now, I'm not sure whether this happens often or it only happens sometimes, but for INTJs, it can happen sometimes, right? Because sometimes when we are too focused on something, we just ignore our meals and we just ignore our health for a while. Only afterwards, then we go eat something. But when we are focusing on something, we try to focus too much on that. And I believe INTPs are the same too. But the difference is that INTPs are too focused on pretty much everything. So they can just skip meals and they can just ignore health just to finish what they are thinking about. They just want to finish what they are thinking. They just want to finish their product. So it is pretty common for INTPs to forget some things that they have to do just because they are in their heads. INTPs are also introverts, so they also like to be alone from time to time. Just like INTJs, they like to be alone, and INTPs also don't like going out too much. They have to recharge. So when they are recharging, when they are alone in their own time, then they just think and they just analyze too many things. So they are in their own worlds, in their minds. And the sixth point is most of them want to work with minds. Now, just like Isaac Newton and Albert Einstein, they work with minds, right? Their minds. They're always thinking and analyzing. And most INTPs also want to do that. So in their career paths, they are going to choose something that really involves them to think and really analyzing things. So like they might choose to be scientists, they might choose to be engineers. Even when they choose art, their art is going to be really fantastic, really mesmerizing, right? Because they are too analytical, they are too detailed. And the next point is that they are always starving for more information. No matter how intellectual, how knowledgeable they are already, they are always looking for more. They always want to learn. So they always they're always reading some books and they're always trying to improve themselves from learning. So they're always reading some books like psychology, they're always thinking about philosophy and also reading some books about it. And I think they can even write a book about philosophy because they're always in their heads. They're always thinking about it, so they're pretty good at it. And as an INTJ, I'm very impressed by that. We also think about lots of things just like INTPs. So if there are INTPs out there, I want to know if these are true for you, and we can make friends. I'm an INTJ. And so that's all for today, guys. Hey Introverted Warriors, thanks for watching. If you'd like to learn how to properly embrace your introverted qualities without feeling insecure, like the video, subscribe to this channel to be one of the Introverted Warriors, and watch another video of social abundance strategies, and we'll talk again very soon. Remember, one right mindset is all it takes.